Hey guys, what is up? Today we are going to build a floating shelf for our coffee bar here that we built before we moved into the house. So stick around if you want to see how we turn this mess into this. Alright guys, so our shelves are going to be 65 inches wide. We're using this white wood here that we just had in the back, left over from when we did the house and stuff. So we're just going to reuse it. So the only thing we're doing different on this is the mounting system that we're going to use. We're going to try to hang it with no hardware. We're going to try to use a French cleat.
Oh, hell no. Think you done gone too far. You want violence, smelly Frenchman? Huh? Do you want violence? Well, you got it. Gotta put the gun down. Say you love America. I love America.
And I've done this before. On one of my very first videos, I did a floating shelf for someone, and I did a French cleat.
Please don't kill me. Sing the national anthem. Allons enfants de la... Not that one, man. Sing the American one. Oh, no. Oh, say, can you see? Oh, see.
That hung onto the wall, and it looked pretty cool. So I'm gonna try to reuse it here, not have to buy any special hardware to hang this. And we might add some lights. Think about it. So let's go ahead and get into the cuts. Alright, so we started with 3 1x6s and 2 1x10 pieces of wood by 8 feet, all of them. And these were just normal white wood that I got from the hardware store. And we started by cutting first the top piece. This will be our main top piece. This is a 1x10 by 63 inches. And my miter saw wasn't thick enough to cut it all in one cut, so I had to do 2 cuts. And then we cut our second piece, which was the bottom piece as well. And this one will be the same 1x10 by 63 inches. And later on we will skim the bottom piece. We'll cut off a little piece to make it a little bit thinner than the top one. And then next I took my 1x6s and I cut them down to the first one was 1x6 by 64.5 inches, and I did the ends at a 45-degree angle. And this is what I'm doing here. This is the front piece. Alright, and then we cut the next pieces are going to be the side pieces, and these were each 10 inches long, so it's a 1x6 by 10 inch, again with the 45-degree cut on one end to make that mitered corner at the edge of the bookshelf. So the corner of the bookshelf is a mitered 45-degree cut on both pieces, and we're just making sure that it's gonna fit. And then the top piece and the bottom piece are gonna go inside the actual frame, so that's what I'm making sure that it's gonna completely fit and it's gonna be snug and tight. Alright, so there's our side pieces. I got both of them and the front. Next we are putting pocket hole screws. So I'm just marking where I want my pocket hole screws. I put 3 on the sides, and then on the front part I did, I think, like 10 or 12 pocket screws. And here we're just drilling the holes using the Craig Pro 720 for our pocket screws. Alright, and here's our pocket holes that we made. Yeah, so this is our main top piece, is the one with all the pocket holes, and then the 2 side pieces, and then the front piece right here as well. We didn't make any pocket holes in the front piece or the side pieces. Alright, next I took some glue and ran it across the front edge of this will be the top piece. And then I have my front piece here, and I put them together. I just grabbed some clamps to hold them together while the glue dried, and while I put some finish nails in there. I just clamped it together. As you can see, this right here is our top piece of our shelf, and then our front piece is what we're putting together here. And then I'm using the Porter cable finish nailer. This is the 18 gauge, and we're just putting some finish nails to hold it while the glue dries completely, just in place where we want it. I'm attaching the side pieces of our shelf here and just adding wood glue to all of it. So not a carpenter, not great at this stuff, but I'm learning and I'm enjoying making little things like this. So here I'm just adding that side piece, and I did it like that because I wanted the shelf to look like just one big piece. That's why I did the mitered corners, and then that's why I did the top part where it's flush with the front and side pieces versus on top of it. I wanted it to look like just one piece. Alright, and that's the front of our shelf, and here we're just making sure that the bottom is going to fit inside. Alright guys, we've got about half of our shelf done here. Next we're going to go ahead and measure the inside of this, and we are going to cut the piece that's going to go back here for the cleat, because I want to get the part that goes up here, I want to get that in first. So we're going to go ahead and measure and cut that piece for the French cleat on the table saw. Alright, and so this is our third 1x6. We cut this one down to 63 inches because it's going to go inside. Alright guys, so we're going to cut this at a 45-degree angle. So we got it set. Alright guys, so here we're doing our 45-degree cut down the middle of the board. Before this, I also took 3/4 of an inch off of the width of the board, because this is going to go inside. So I'm accounting for the width of the top piece, which it'll fit under. Alright guys, so here's our, I think I need a new blade. So this is the piece that's going to go on the wall. This is the piece that's going to go here and latch onto that like that. We've got our top piece here. We're going to put some pocket screws in this, pocket holes, so that we can attach it to the big piece over here. Alright guys, we've got this little scrap piece. We're going to put 2 supports in here. Should be enough for 2. And so we're just going to trim it down a little so that it's exactly flush with this line right here. We're going to take about a 1/8 of an inch off of here with the table saw. Alright, once we got that 1/8 of an inch taken off, we went ahead and put 2 pocket holes, one on each side, so that we could attach it to the inside of our shelf to be just like some support bracing on the inside of the shelf. Alright, and we used the right angle attachment, the DeWalt right angle attachment, to get inside and be able to put the screws in. Alright guys, I have this wonky corner here that the angle didn't come out well. It moved when I was putting it together. Maybe probably because the wood has been sitting out, it's a little bit probably warped. So I'm not a woodworker. I'm gonna stick this in here and see if I can get this corner to pop out and straighten out a little, and it'll give it something to grab onto right there. What is up? Sorry, dang it. Lighting is not my forte, but what is up? All right, we've got this is our French cleat bottom part that's gonna be mounted on the wall. We're gonna just drill some 1/2-inch holes for our anchors, which are gonna be the toggler anchors that we've used before. Where's my pencil? Drilled 5 1/2-inch holes for the toggler bolts on the cleat part that's going to go on the wall, and then I went to the wall and just did my measurements and my math where I wanted it. Alright guys, we've got our math done, we centered it, and so now we have to drill through this tile. So we've got our tile drill bit here. Alright, this is a 1/2 inch. Hopefully we don't have to fight too much to get the toggles in. So we're going to mark our holes with a dry erase. All right, with this, you gotta go kind of slow because this is glossy and smooth. So at first, you kind of have to go a little bit slow. We've got our hole, our little tiny hole marked. This is just a wet napkin. So this does require a little bit of water, not a lot though. We've drilled the tile. All right, and I always like to put the middle one and then level this out and make sure that I have the other holes correctly. So we're going to run this through here. All right, and then we'll run this in there. Hopefully it fits. Oh yes, a little bit tight. Got it. Make sure that it grabs. Boom. Put it all the way in. Break it, and then just to make sure we don't break this, we're going to add the screw. All right. So we don't want to over tighten. All right. Got our level here. That made a lot more dust than I thought originally. So we're just making a little pocket. All right, so this little trick doesn't catch 100% of the dust, but it catches 95% of everything that you're spilling. And it's quite a bit with all the drywall stuff that comes out. All right, let's try it out. So, your French cleat, you can see, so this is where the other part's going to slide in, and it should grab on theoretically very well to this and not move, and the pressure should keep it. All right, so once we had our shelf on the French cleat, I figured out that the shelf, the bottom part of it wasn't long enough to, I guess there needed to be more of an overhang and to cause the shelf to have like a support at the bottom underneath that French cleat. So I ended up having to just drill 3 holes into the shelf itself and add 3 toggle bolts to the tile wall. And so I went ahead and drilled the holes, marked them. I drilled the holes in the shelf itself, marked it, and then I set the shelf where it goes on the French cleat. And then I inserted some toggle bolts and I tightened them, and so that tightened up the shelf. Alright guys, we got it up. So we did have to put 3 of the togglers on this part, so didn't work out like we wanted it to, but yeah, so most of the weight is on the bottom French cleat part and the rest is on the top. If I do want to remove it, I can. I just take the screws out, and the only thing specialized that I had to do was I did have to use a right angle attachment to get those in there because it was too small. So if you ever need to screw and your drill isn't gonna fit, get you one of these little right angle attachments and you can fit in smaller areas. So alright guys, we've got our bottom piece here. We've cut it down. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to shave a little bit more off, like a 1/4 inch. Alright guys, so on the bottom piece, I did end up taking 1 inch off of the width. So that bottom piece came in at 8 1/4 by 63, and that was a 1x10 that we had originally cut when we cut all the pieces at the beginning of the video. And then we sanded the entire shelf. Just used 120 grit sandpaper and the orbital sander. Alright guys, we are going to, never used this stuff before, but we are going to use some wood conditioner just to make sure it looks nice when we stain it. So this is Minwax, water-based, so it doesn't stink too much in here in the house. So we let the conditioner dry the amount of time that it sat on the cannon, and then I stained the shelf. I used a Minwax, I believe just a Jacobine is what it was, and we just did 1 quick coat and then wiped it all down, wiped it all off with the wiping cloth. I wanted to get similar to the lighter colors on the butcher block countertop below. Alright guys, so we put two little fans here, one to dry it and one to kind of get some air getting out of here. I like it. I feel like it matches what we have here in our butcher block. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Guys, and I also picked up this little rechargeable under cabinet mount light. I didn't want a cord, so I picked, this was like 20 bucks at Lowe's. You can probably get them, you can get them cheaper on Amazon, but they're different. I just wanted to get it right now. Alright, so we went ahead and decided kind of where we wanted to place it. And then I didn't really like the white look, and we have gold hardware in our kitchen, so we decided to paint this. We just taped off the actual light LED part and the sensor part that it has a little sensor that's supposed to sense people, so we taped that off, and then the charger port, and we just used this Rust-Oleum universal gold looking paint that we had left over from when we did the vents in the house, and we painted those gold as well. And yeah, it just took about 2 coats. We just did a coat and then let it dry in between. Came back, mounted the hardware. It's magnetic light, and it's a rechargeable, like a USB-C. So we just put it in the middle of our shelf, and it just has 2 little screws, and that little magnet right there will hold up the light. I can remove the light if I want to pull it down to charge it, if I need to move it, if I need to angle it. And here's our final design. This was like a decorative thing. We just wanted to be able to put a couple little things up and not on the countertop. So yeah, I like the way that it came out. I like the beefy look on the shelf. But yeah, guys, as always, thank you for watching and subscribing and liking. Really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Good.
This is a business trip. I would have to be a raging
I accidentally put too much.
to try to talk to Jan about what happened between us. Her words, not mine.